Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one and the only Master Propaganda. Your Lord and Master, off here to a 1v1 on Crossroads. In the north, it is Dezman fighting for the Oberkommandwest Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 7th Panzer Division, the Ghost Division. With the Elite Armoured, Grand Offensive, and Feuersturm. In the south, it is Rometh fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, the 10th Mechanized Corps here with Armoured Assault Tactics featuring the venerable T-35, Radio Intercept, Vehicle Crew Repair Training, High Use to Heavy Tanks, and the Sturmovik Rock support there. We got mostly infantry bulletins on both sides. And far away we got Bessel, the kitty cat. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my parent supporters, these champions and heroes of the Propagandacast who support me. With their money, of course, allows to keep doing what I do on a daily basis. You too can join the ranks by Patreon, and also a big thanks to Iron Fist for donating and supporting the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money. You can also follow his channel by donating via PayPal. Links are also in the video description for that. And commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff also helps me out a bunch there. Keeps the YouTube algorithms from, recommending the video to more people. So, we got here Feuersturm, now that's fancy, with the Flammpanzer 83 Hetzer. Technically 83T because it was based off the Czechoslovakian, but you call it the Panzer 38T there. T standing for Czechoslovakia and German, Czechid. We got assault packages, incendiary munitions, Czechoslovakia actually. Anyways, I'm messing things up there personally, but anyways, Oberblitz and rocket barrages versus the T-35. I already mentioned that. Anyways, moving up the west side, we got the Kuhwagen there with double flotilla for Dezman. We can see there Rometh already sending most of his force towards the cemetery here, disrupting things there. We can see also Dezman here is moving up steadily in the east. Sturmpioneer moving about there, but this is definitely going to slow down Dezman's early game here versus Rometh. Sturmpioneer advancing there with the Sturmgewehr 44 or Maschinenpistole 44, if you want to call it that as well. It was pretty much the same gun, it's just basically a matter of naming. But Dezman shifting from the west, it seems, towards these perhaps here, or he's just going to try and grab as much as he can elsewhere, try and negate the impact of losing immediate access to the fuel point here. Does look to the case here for Dezman. I think tactically that is a blow, but I don't think bad idea here to just try and shift the game around on that. We got quadruple contract here for Rometh. Heavy on the infantry, and there goes Sturmpioneer being focused down. Need to treat them now. Another full squad here for Dezman. But of course, having to make sure the commander there going east. Though, of course, as most of Rometh's forces saw the west center, that does mean the east is wide open. We got flamethrowers on the way, but on the way is in this case too late, as the Germans are already upon them. Fourth contributing heads was there for the Germans in the east. Sandbags down there, so nice, I would say, shift there tactically from Dezman. Thumbs up. Sharp players like this always just apes like they quickly reflect on this current situation and then adapt to it rather than just say getting stuck because they decided this is their fuel. The tactically smart play just goes, well, if my opponent's over there, I can just go over there. So really sharp play there by Dezman. Sandbags up here, sandbags there. I mean, all sides are pretty much just sandbagging in there as fast as possible. Of course, the third sandbags have the advantage of they're just bigger. They just, boom, you got that massive sandbag position to easily cover infantry, whereas the German one is slightly, then it is, not tiny, but it's not quite as big. Truck on the way there for Dezman, probably going to some fast trucks there. What happens is going to be mechanized or battle group headquarters, and of course, the infantry actually goes for the assault packages. I mean, I've seen a lot of players not bother with it, but honestly, the MP40 Focus guns, in my opinion, are quite good. Moving on the center there, bit of skirmishing. Fix up the Kuhwagen. Sandbags there. Thing in the west. And it is a mechanized regiment here for Dezman and the German army, in which case we'll probably see the Blitz being used as an ambulance. Constantly pushing against the folks in the west. Heading the calf upon there as well. Right now, Dezman is also widely extended. Of course, Rometh, of course, seizes upon this swiftly. They got flamethrowers there on the Sturmpioneer, the Flammenwehr for 35. I believe the Germans actually managed to, roughly around 1942, put out a other flamethrower there. I believe the Flammenwehr for 42. Folks in trouble there. Mechanized regiment almost done. We'll have to see if it's going to be the Luxia or the Puma from Dezman. But map is certainly changing sides quite aggressively. It's more like a patchwork. MD-34 there for Dezman. Reinforcing, engineers on there for Rometh. To help deal with... for Dezman, I mean to help deal with Rometh's infantry. And there you go, come to the forced retreat right past a lot of firepower here. Let's set the Sturmpanzer position is a bit awkward, so I don't think they can actually do the job there. Machine gun out. And again, mechanized rating headquarters ready for Dezman and the 7th Panzer Division. Spawn cabinet here for Rometh and the Red Army. Hard at work with that one. The 3rd commander there, by the way, wearing the typical Soviet crash helmet, which is a fun fact. The German tank crews did not use crash helmets, which actually meant they had issues with head injuries. Though some of them at least wore helmets, so not too bad, but there's definitely an issue there with head injuries and concussions amongst German tank crews. Technically, at the start of the war, they had one, but that was sort of a mix of a beret and a crash helmet, and no one liked it. It was so utterly ugly that German tank crews would rather risk concussion than wear it. I think, again, they sort of started wearing helmets, which, again, isn't quite a crash helmet, but, you know, slightly helps with the issue, I suppose. But either way, it is worth noting then that, you know, sometimes you gotta at least get something slightly stylish, or your people's not gonna wear it, even like it saves them. So, little fun note there. Sturmpanzer, the consuls there. And watch the engineers bring up there. And there we go, we do actually get the MP40s up here. And access to grenades and smoke grenades. Got grenade here, pushing that into the open. MP4s are doing a lot of damage. More mines going off there. Following with the engineers there. Constantly pushing eastwards. Looks for Dezman here, the Panzer II Model L. Machine also in a bad spot here for Dezman. I think he's going to have to retreat that one. You can also go for the Blitz part healing first troops there, obviously. Or to provide them transportation. That could also be an idea. Thing with the consuls up close, but getting flanked here, I think he's going to need to retreat the MD-34. Kubang engineers up close. Will equip Morbusman here with the MP-40? That is the big question here. The Schmeisser, it was colloquially known, though Schmeisser had nothing to do with the MP-40. They had a lot to do with a lot of the previous iconic German submachine guns like the MP-18. Which, you know, was technically like the first submachine gun proper. Machine gun there wiped out, but he's going to crew it up again. There you go, Steelhunter gun out of fit in there. Brutal action here to keep this German machine gun out of the Soviet hands, but now at the same time, though, it is worth noting Rometh is still getting hit in desperate in terms of resources. We do have the looks out here. The Panzer II ist gefechtsbereit in the name of the German army. Just need to get it going here. These out there, engineers push back. Could get a wipe, which definitely be helpful here for Dezman versus Rometh in particular, since that could slow down things a bit in other ways. Kuban about to get knocked out. Frozen in trouble as well. Needs more. Why is that looks not moving? Come on, Dezman. Mach schnell. Deutschland vorwärts. There we go. Looks finally on the move. I feel like that could cost him the Kuberwagen there when he could have saved it with the looks there. Oh, narrowly saved it, but yeah. They got the machine gun, need to grab the points there, and of course push on the eastern fuel point. We got take there for Rometh. Pushing with Luke's here, conscious they're being engaged. Tank between on them for Rometh. Pushing for the eastern point there, troops enforcing healing there. Kurwagen in dire repairs. Got the repair ponies on the way there for Dezman and Deutschland. And we got the teasing light tank here for Rometh. We'll have to see if Dezman commits to a Puma then to counter that, or he's going to, like, you know, try and pull that further. That said, I don't know, I mean, he may have to go for the Puma. Sturmpuna got the point. They did not push on the field point. Got a smaller force heading westwards. Worth noting, most of the troops will get to be further upgraded. He's got 2 squads that could benefit either from assault rifles or MP40s. You could go for a mix of them there. I'd say both options there are very viable for Dezman and Deutschland. Got the assault team here backed up with the MD-34 heading eastwards. Got the T-74 here for Rometh. North Econ's being hammered. There we got the constant flank, and there we go. Do get MP40s for them. Definitely giving the chance of getting a wipe here. But should have had it up sooner, in which case I think the chance would have been much stronger. But you know, at least he's upgrading his men there. Some players again can be a bit sluggish on that. MD34 troubleshooting post moving in. Of course, no anti-tank ever goes. As soon as the T70 shoots, he does go for the Puma. Hard to say if he's planning it or just was an immediate response to the T70. But either way, getting the Puma out is going to definitely make things tough here for Rometh's T70, in particular since Rometh doesn't have any field guns to like back things up there. And of course, crucially, with Armoured Assault, he doesn't have access to guardsmen, so his overall tool set then for dealing with a Puma is a bit more limited at the moment. Looks on the move here, 3 kills so far. Puma almost done. We do get the Sis gun here. I mean, obviously, with the looks about there, a Puma is very, very, very likely. Plus, you know, he still wants the field gun to just deal with the looks. So, you know, sensible choice there. Puma out here, of course. Rometh knows, thanks to radar intercept. And one squad yet to be upgraded. Will it be the MP40s as well there? Or will it be the Sturmgewehrs? Well, again, MP44. Lots of sandbagging all over the place, mines and barbed wire. A lot of fortification work between both players. Oh, they got minesweepers and flamethrowers on them at the same time. Got Puma out there, the 234-2. There's a total of 4 different variations of the 234 armored car, by the way. This was the second model, which actually I think was also the least produced model because German High Command was actually concerned that the armoured car crews with an armoured car like that would actually start thinking they were tank crews and operate them like tanks. So they kind of stopped production of it pretty fast. Ooh, that was lucky there for Rometh. You could actually, I think, shot the T-70 Puma Panzerfaust at it, but got away with it. And this squad almost gets wiped. Really close call there for Dezman. Looks falling back here. Puma need repairs. And did get a wipe release then. Rometh, though. Rometh is quick to replace it. Thumbs up. Again, not all players are quite as keen on placing the losses, and Dezman keeps forgetting about his units here and there. Maybe he's a bit rusty. I haven't seen him in a bit of while, so it might be that Dezman is a bit rusty and is trying to like maintain control of all of his units. That does happen. Troop reinforcing healing there. Mines being attempted there. Got the MP40 Volksguns being forged there with their MP40, which of course was a very iconic German submachine gun. Was easy to produce. It was mostly, I think, stamped steel, or was it rolled steel? Don't need something like that anyways, which of course made it very easy to produce. In fact, the British were very much inspired by it to actually make the Sten gun, which was an easier, it was more simplified version in a sense there. Fun fact. There was also the MP38, which is basically just a less nice version of the MP40, mostly more made out of wood. Grab the point there. Good to see a wipe here. Interesting enough, he didn't deal with that. Got flanked then by Rometh. And I imagine here Dezman's going to maybe... Yeah, he's taking up there. Very good. So good. They would, by the way, at the very end of the war, try and make then their own version of the Sten gun, known as the MP 3008. So yeah, that really took a long roundabout. Field gun away there for Rometh. Number 2 there. Obviously have to deal with all these light vehicles that Dezman is currently throwing at him. Honestly, I probably would like to see him using the orbital blitz to just Ferris troops about and reinforcement at the front line. That'll give him even more mobility here versus Rometh. I think it would make Dezman even more formidable, but considering the fact that Dezman is trying just to maintain everything he's got going at the moment, now the orbital blitz might be, you know, a bit much. And he's in fact upgrading all 3 squads here with the MP40s. Got it from the Puma there, punch straight through the T-70 frontal armor. Got it too. Didn't pop smoke there though. That said, I don't think it was a bad maneuver either there, like just force the field to slightly reposition and then disengages. Looks with 11 kills, veterans 1 fixed up. Battlefield headquarters, not a Schwerpanzer headquarters. And I think he should have gone for the Schwerpanzer headquarters and, you know, maybe gotten out some Obersoldaten. We'll have to see what Rometh goes for next, though he's yet to take up further, which is good for Dezman. Heading for the eastern fuel point there again. Sturmpening hit over there, Flammen Werfer. Medics for Dezman. He's caught here laying down the mine, and the followers are turning into them with MP40s. executing them without mercy. Looks something about there. Mines down here for Dezman, die Schützen-42. Looks as the conscripts. The 34 there. And we got the light infantry Geschütz 18 here for Dezman. Bit larger, I think it's a good idea, though. Also would have been a good idea, of course, taking up. Pushing eastward sea, no further tick for Rometh. But I would say good work there by Dezman, disrupting Rometh's fuel income. Definitely going to be important here. Field guns then engage the Luke's tank through, and I think there's a good chance he actually loses it here, unless he gets lucky. Yup. Did not get lucky there. We got the full second into the Units hill. That's going to be a wipe there with MP40s. Very good there. Demo charge. Wipe the Sturm Pioneers. Wow. And I think he's busy down there. So did he sneak up and then lay down the demo charge while Dezman wasn't paying attention? I think he did. Like, holy hell, Rometh just went out on a limb and blew off all the limbs of the Germans. By the way, though, boom. Oh, the Malik sees multiple wipes in Dezman. That's going to be painful. I mean, already losing the Sturm Pioneer is quite painful there. He's going for another squad, but yeah, I think there's a good chance of wipe here, unless he gets supremely lucky here. Oh, not supremely, at least a good amount of luck there. And it does look like luck, at least this time, smiles on Dezman and Deutschland. But quite a significant series of losses here from Dezman against Rometh. Lux and Sturm Pioneers lost in a short amount of time here to the Soviets. Rometh continues not to take up. But Dezman obviously going to like at least setting up for the tech here against some Oberstleutnant. I think could do some heavier lifting against some of the infantry support weapons alongside those MP40 leading Volksgrenadiers. One squad by with this veteran 4. Got the fields bombarding here the MD-34 position. Could try and do a bit more on the west side. I mean, there's plenty of points here that Dezman, I think, could try and seize away here from Rometh. And of course, Rometh could try and sneak up on the west side to hit the field points there. Of course, he could be expecting a Schwerpanzer Corps to be set up there now. And then he'd probably move up the field guns to deal with it then, so I don't know. There are a few possibilities here. Sandbags there. Not entirely sure dealing with the field guns there. I think maybe trying to destroy the building. They deny it to Dezman. Mechanized on the company up. We'll of course have to then Rometh to go straight for the eyes too. Able to go for the T-45s. And honestly, considering the Dezman's situation currently, like he could get away with the eyes too, quite spectacularly so. That was a hell of a grenade, almost took out the mortar crew. It was also close to catching some conscripts there, but I guess Rometh had just sufficient amount of luck there to avoid the worst case scenario. Trial knife for Dezman, that's going to be the attack. Of course, it's also possible Dezman could be planning himself to stall for the King Tiger. So I'm not sure if that's going to be there. We've got grenades being exchanged again. The models when they kept burning the full default's going to use with these. Almost close to feeling these folks as they got 18 kills, almost 19. Yes, they're being absolutely mauled here. 19 kills. Betting free gain 20. I think you need to treat that there. Moving on the centre and the west side, we finally got Rometh remembering there's the west side and moving up, forced to deal with that. Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper holding up here, probably going to sit around the cutoff point. Oh, there we go. Quick catch and pull off guard, rushing it with anti-tank grenades. Devious there by Rometh. Devious but efficient. And hits a mine there. Field guns moving in. Back here. It is starting to look a bit like an IS-2 here for Rometh and the Red Army. Very close to the ace low on those folks grenadiers, by the way. Sturmpuny are burning up while standing in the fires of their red army there. Whom almost fixed up. That said, I think the King Tiger right now for Dezman is going to be a bit of a long shot. He does get hit by something like the IS-2, which again is looking very likely. He's probably going to have to like consider Jagdpanzer instead. Even that's going to take some time. So I think a King Tiger is very much right out. In fact, he's going to need some like Kettenwerfers. Because the single Pumas, the IS-2 is going to be, I think, fairly optimistic. That's retreating there. Need to get the field point back, and there you go. Schwerpanzer quarters authorized. Trip reinforcing healing. Rometh is about half a minute away from the IS-2 heavy tank here versus Dezman. He's being pinned down there. Puma shoots misses. Machine then getting hammered by the mortar. Got the Fulton and the Sturmpuny on the move here for Dezman. Push forward to the Guineas there. Fulton being push back the conscripts. Moving too fast for the field point there. Had a mistake there by Dezman. Maybe some weird thing happening there, I don't know. Yeah, I think he pops it back in there. But yeah, Rometh is momentarily from the IS-2 heavy tank here versus Dezman. Booming up there. Field gun shoots. Pulling up closely against the conscripts, tearing them apart with the well-placed submachine gun fire. Stielhandgranade. Almost wipes the field and through their grip, but now Rometh at the 21-22 min mark. He has the IS-2 heavy tank out. And that's going to be a real challenge here for Dezman with just a Puma. That will absolutely necessitate the Kettenwerfers, but also the Jagdpanzer. Yeah, the Panther I think is going to be ill-suited and equipped for this. And going for the Panther I think is also going to be a bit risky. I think the Jagdpanzer will be the optimal choice there. Oh, Dezman. That's not going to work out. No pin machine hit to the IS-2 heavy tank though. Almost wiped the MG-34 crew with his 122mm gun. In the west, we've got the fuel pond being hit again. Need to immediately counterattack. He can't afford to lose like even a bit of fuel now. He needs it all. He needs the Jagdpanzer. Oh, he's moving away from the fuel point. Dezman, wrong direction. Wrong direction, my friend. And Rometh is going to go straight for the base here. He can soon go for the Jagdpanzer again. Needs to go for the Jagdpanzer. Like, the Panther was going to be absolutely outclassed, but the Jagdpanzer at least has a chance of like penetrating from a safe distance against the IS-2. There we go. Jagdpanzer on the way here for Dezman and the 7th Panzer Division. Got a hit with a lightning thing on action in the IS-2. That's kind of impressive. Puma snung away there. Fun fact about the Jagdpanzer 4-70, well technically Panther 4-70s, these are pretty much like exclusive to Panzer Division's tank destroyer battalions. They did not, I believe, get attached like independent units. There was also by a version by Alkit, which was more like an interim production model between the Panther 4 and the Jagdpanzer 4, or the Panther 470, which was a lot more boxy. Those were actually used as Panzers instead. Help petrol being hammered here. Jagdpanzer's almost done there for Dezman. There we go. Same gun as on the Panther without the muscle brake though. Since that kicked up so much to take away the position of the tank destroyer. Also worth noting they were actually equipped with a machine gun right next to the gun there on the left side. Right, there for some reason Rebel decided not to have it in there, but that's technically where they'd have an MG42 to use against infantry. Highlighting that the Jagdpanzers were so much like anything else, really just assault guns hijacked by Guderian. Good shot on the IS-2, punch straight through the side armour. Also going straight for the field gun here. Puma moving in. If you can get rid of the field guns, the path taking out the IS-2 becomes much easier, but as long as the field guns are there, it's going to be a bit tricky here for Dezman. This again is also where the orbits will be good because they don't need to get closer clear out the field guns, which is why again having them backing up the front would be I think an excellent choice there for Dezman. Double hit on the Jagdpanzer, plunging straight for the front llama. Anti-tank grenade making things worse here. Dezman's situation is definitely looking desperate. Pursuing here the Jagdpanzer, MG-54 dealing with troops, but the Jagdpanzer takes the wrong path, gets caught easily by the approaching IS-2. We got an aim shot here. Oh, the shot vanishes into thin air. Instead, the Jagdpanzer gets knocked out by the IS-2, and now the Puma is in deep sauerkraut as well here as Rometh plunges through the German front lines. Dezman's overall response to the IS-2 is in tatters because he has no Raket left. He is going for one now, but even that's going to be pretty tough to hold up against the IS-2, which is good against dealing with anti-tank weapons due to its massive gun. And heavy machine gun there mounted as well to the top. So Dezman's situation there definitely just went from bad to worse. And I think Dezman's chance of winning this are now fairly slim. I mean, technically there's always hope, but Rometh's now adding in a T-Fed have to back up the IS-2, and again, Dezman's only got a Puma, not a Kedman, trying to stop that. I don't even think Santa Claus could provide him with an answer here. Fixing up the Puma, close to veteran V2. Machine holding up there. Still find the MG on the Volkers there. We got mortars there going at it. Very good. Thumbs up to Rometh, of course. We got 5 kills on Dezman's light infantry shots. Hasn't been bad either. Probably could actually use that to lay down the smoke to maybe cover the retreat of the Jagdpanzer. That could actually maybe saved it. Or at least increase its chances of surviving in the first place. But there you go. T-3485 here for Rometh. It's like a tiny IS-2. Go straight forward here. Another steel hand grenade straight in the mortar. Narrowly avoids the mine, but doesn't get the mortar there. IS-2 pushing through the west there, backing up a significant assault there by Rometh. Infantry. Straight to... Oh, it hits the mine. This time the in-shot managed to jam the turret ring there of the IS-2 heavy tank. Puma goes for it. Could actually take out the IS-2 here with a Puma. He could take out the third heavy tank with it. Ah, no, the double field guns cover this rear. Taking out it. There you go to the T-5 wing, preventing any sort of pursuit. He's so close for Dezman. So close. But so far, I think with this, Rometh very much has secured the match in the name of the glorious Soviet Union. Dezman's forces are in tatters. Their hopes have been extinguished. Despite, I would say, the near-heroic efforts of the MP40 wielding Volksgrenadiers against Rometh's conscripts. T-Flo taking some light damage. And I think he might actually abandon the match already. Oh, he's not. He's still moving about, it seems. Away though, I think this is GG. I do not see Dezman actually returning from this match at this point. Fox about to go wiped out. Yep, actually may have just left. There we go. GG game over here. Loss for the German army. A victory for Rometh. A fierce fight here with some back and forth action. And Dezman, I feel like at times still forgot about some critical units. Could have done to do a lot more. Could have mined here and there, but also definitely could have done some slightly more efficient tech choices here, and then definitely also should have gone for some orbital dart, and I think that helped a lot. There was the field guns. The field guns were honestly like the big issue there for Dezman. Had they not been there to support, I think the situation in a lot of cases would have been much easier for Dezman. So orbital dart now I think would have been a huge choice there because the light machine guns makes them so they can actually clear out the field guns fairly efficiently. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that. And of course, do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Until tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.